my meds. Throw that in there last minute. Welcome into We Talk Ball, powered by College Sports Crew. We're back. I'm Chris. That's Austin. Dabo Swinney, Pete Golden, tampering. New hires, grading. What a fun episode we have lined up there, Austin. How you doing, brother?
Doing good, man. Doing good. Waiting for the anticipation of the show tonight.
Good thing we have something to talk about before it to give people time to get in, because I can tell you right now, TikTok was ablazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had like 50 people. Well, actually, we got up to like 60 people join the live, and man, I thought my wife's called me some names. Man, I'm telling you, I was called some things. But all right, man, let's jump into it. Let's get to this Pete Golden Dabo Swinney thing. I got a few quotes. So Dabo Swinney had a press conference. Dabo and Clemson had a press conference. It was supposed to be to announce Chad Morris, and they did, but they also wanted to go ahead and talk about this little tampering deal they have going with Ole Miss. And so I got two quotes from the press conference. It was a long one. If go watch it, it's on YouTube. But one of the quotes, tampering 101 is when you're talking to kids who aren't in the portal. Tampering 201 is when you already negotiated the deal, when the kid's not in the portal. Tampering 301 is when you've got a kid going in the portal, signed somewhere, moved there, is going to classes, and you're texting them while they're in classes. That's like a whole nother level of tampering. So that's what Dabo said on that one quote. Second, Luke communicated to our staff, and that's the player that was tampered with, that Pete Golden texted him on a Wednesday morning, the head coach at Ole Miss, when he was in his 8 a.m. class, and his text message said, "I know you're signed. What's the buyout?" And then he sent a picture of a $1 million contract. Austin, listen, I know tampering happens, right? That's not my issue. I
Yep.
actually don't care one bit about it. But I am gonna piss off our Ole Miss buddies that I've gotten over the year or over this last year on TikTok. I have a lot of Ole Miss buddies. I hope y'all know I still love you after this. I really do. But we're done with the feel good story. Like this whole getting on Twitter and look what Lane's doing to us. Big bad mean Lane Kiffin at LSU. Y'all, maybe y'all don't like each other because y'all just alike. Because you kind of the lane move, my guy. Like I don't know what to tell you. Like Ole Miss fans, they're acting real funny with this, man. They're acting real funny with this, and I'm just like, come on, man. Like you did this. You everybody was like, hey, poor Ole Miss, and I was too. Like, that's wrong what Lane's doing. And then you're
Yep.
going to go on and pull what I think is a lane move, because I do think Dabo's quote is right. There's different levels to tampering. And when we talk about cheating in college football, which is rampant, there's people that go 90 and a 75. And I think what Ole Miss did here and what Lane's done in the past, they went triple digits. They were
They
going
w-
105.
hey, they went UGA on them.
Yeah. Clip that. Yeah, they went a little notch above. So man,
Yeah.
I don't really care in the grand scheme. I think it's messed up, but my general takeaway from it is I don't want to hear from you all anymore, Ole Miss fans. I don't want to hear you complaining about Lane Kiffin. You're doing the same thing, my guys.
Yeah. Yeah. Does make me wonder where Pete Golding learned that behavior from, but which I'm sure is Ole Miss fans' argument right now. But yeah, and there's another story coming out now. Didn't like Fresno State come out and say they had something similar happen? I didn't read the story in detail, but
I read a little bit. It's behind a paywall, but the part that
yeah,
wasn't paywall is apparently a wide receiver at Fresno State got a text from somebody at Ole Miss, and he showed it to the coaches. Good on the kid. He stayed at Fresno State, I think. Good on the kid to do that. But yeah,
Yeah.
our athletes former product. Pete out here sending you up text support kids. They went UGA on the best quote I heard this week. That's going to be a title of my next book. Yeah, it's yeah, man. Like they went a little crazy with it, man, and I don't know if anything's going to come from it. I don't know. I mean, I do feel like we're fixing to get in our coaches' star ratings and our rankings of the new hires. I ain't gonna lie, I may have bumped Pete Golden down a little bit because, like, why are you texting the dude, dummy?
Yeah.
What are you doing, dummy? Like,
Yeah.
why are you the head man doing that? Like, ain't you supposed to have somebody that does the dirty work for you? Like, what are you doing that? Like, I kind of wanted to bump him down a little bit in our rankings because I'm like, I'm questioning your like intelligence a little bit because why are you texting the man? Like, I don't know, dude. Like, go contact the agent only or his high school coach. Like, what are you doing texting the kid, stupid?
Yeah. I'll be honest with you. When we were, kind of talking about this list, if there was one name on this list that I wanted to push back to you on, I thought we had Pete Golding a little high. And now he's kind of proven that. Look, I had to deal with this dude as my defensive coordinator for years at Alabama. I'm not high on Pete Golding. Now, we talked about this right after the season, and the things he was doing at Ole Miss seemed really great. But again, I think he was playing into that emotion of, oh, we got done dirty. Stick with your team. Da da da. And it worked for a while, but we're even seeing some of that start to fall apart now. So I don't know. TBD.
Yeah, we'll see if anything comes from it. I don't know if there is. Also in a little bit of news, I won't spend too much time on this because I've got Athletes Forum podcast. Go to College Sports Crew on YouTube. We got so many shows on this platform, guys. I was telling people on TikTok that were really mad at me about our list. I said, hey, the beautiful thing about our YouTube channel is if you don't like me, we got several other shows. So Athletes Forum podcast is one of those. He had an awesome show last night. I watched it live. It was the first time I got to watch it live, and now I'm regretting not watching it live every week because it's a banger show, guys. It really is. So he touched on the Mensa from Duke going to Miami thing. So, and he went into great detail on that. So go check out his. Also talked some March Madness, getting us ready for March Madness. Talked about my wife's favorite team, UConn. So she enjoyed that. So yeah, go check that out on College Sports Crew on YouTube. It'll be right up there at the top. But yeah, he talked about it in great detail. So go check out his video. But any thoughts on Mensa to Miami, man? I feel like that puts him right back in the hunt.
I mean, if that D line plays like it did last year, I said it. I thought Miami was a quarterback away from winning a national championship this year.
Yeah, I think they have they lose some guys, obviously. They lose some studs.
Yeah.
I do think a quarterback can make a world of difference, and I think Mensa could take them. Well, I don't want to say further because it's really hard to duplicate what you did last year going to the national championship. But
Yeah, you can't. Yeah, you're right.
but I mean, I do feel like if Mensa was there Monday night or whenever the national championship was, they would have had a way better chance. Way better. All right, you ready? Let's get into it.
Let's do it.
All right. Hoping you can see that. If you go to full screen, you can see it real good. All right. So we are talking new hires. Because I got a couple of complaints on TikTok. This is my fault. Every time I do a graphic, I miss something. I should have put on there somewhere new hires because during our TikTok live, I kept going, where's Signetti? Where's DeBoer? Where's Kirby? And I'm like, if y'all think this is my best coaches list, don't ever watch my show.
You're right.
That would be horrible. All right. We're going to start at the top.
You going to just jump right in?
We're going to jump right in. Sorry, but not at the one you think. Kyle Whitney. Make them wait a little bit. I did get some pushback on Kyle Whittingham. And I struggle with that. I kind of wanted to put him at 4-star, but I got to thinking about it last night while laying down watching Athletes Forum podcast, College Sports Crew. I was thinking about it while he was talking on his show. And I got to thinking, I was like, I think the absolute worst case scenario for Kyle Whittingham at Michigan is the floor. And what I think the floor is like 9-3 majority of the time, maybe 8-4 slipped in there. But I see like the worst case scenario, him consistently winning 9 games, sprinkling a 10 win, constantly being in the hunt for the playoff, maybe not getting into them, building a great culture, getting all the rotten mold out of that building that's been there for like 6 years now. I think that's worst case scenario. So for me, I was like, well, that's a 5-star hire to me if that's the worst case scenario. And I think the best case scenario is what we've always thought about Kyle Whittingham is if he gets a bigger job, he does what we all thought he could do. Because we've said for years at Utah, like, man, I mean, you've talked about that since 2012 probably, and like going, hey, I'd love to see what Kyle could do at a Alabama or Georgia or Michigan or whatever. And now he's there, and yeah, he is older, but they did just go 10-2, 10-3, something in the Big 12. So I don't know. And I love Beck. Beck would play a big part of me. Staff hires are important, and that played a role in some of these rankings and some of them. Sometimes the head coach is so good, I don't really worry about it. But the staff hire, I loved the staff hires too. Beck in particular.
Here's my thoughts on this, and why I totally agreed with this being a 5-star hire. Michigan football has more to worry about right now than just winning football games. They got to fix the program, because if they don't, they're going to go down the drain for they're going to follow the Tennessee path and be a dumpster fire for the next 20 years. It's close to heading that way now. And I'll be honest, I don't know if I could hand pick a better guy out of anybody in the country to bring that culture back to Michigan. Not to mention he's a great football coach on top of that. But yeah, I just don't think there's a better guy out there to fix the culture and hopefully change the mindset of what Michigan football is right now.
Yeah. I got a little pushback from that. A lot of people didn't like it. I could see the argument for 4-star. I could see the argument for it. I wouldn't mind. I wouldn't hate it. Lane Kiffin. All right. I've come to the conclusion on something with Lane Kiffin. And this probably won't be the last time we have this conversation about Lane, because sometime in March we'll probably be doing our top 25 coaches ranking. And now that we've gotten bigger, I'm now scared to death of that one. That's gonna be, thank God nobody was here last year, my guy, because we had some controversial stuff last year.
Yeah, I know. I think about that more times than I should.
I thought about that way too many times tonight. Those may be like certain other files. They won't be coming out anytime soon. So those, I don't know if those 2024 Austin and Chris's CFP season coaches rankings will be coming out, because they were pretty controversial. Now that we have a lot more followers on TikTok, I just imagine in my head having that list on TikTok last year. Oh my God. But yeah, I'm usually a guy that's like, if I hear an opposing opinion, I usually hear it out and go, I can see that. There is some incidents though, as you know, Austin, being my best friend for 20 some odd years, and my wife, I get hard headed, and I'm just like, no, I'm not going to hear it. I'm just not. Like, I'm pretty stubborn in that case. And Lane discourse is one of those. I've just gotten to the point where people can't separate Lane the person versus Lane the coach. They can't. They just simply can't. Lane's a nepo baby. He's an asshole, douchebag. He's all whatever words you want to use about Lane. He's a douche. That's absolutely true. But the coach side of things, let's talk about the coach side of things. And here's something I got in TikTok Live, and I've gotten actually from you, and I think I've gotten from Jamal. And I mean no disrespect by this, because I love you guys. I get brought up the Tennessee, USC, Oakland time. That was 13 years ago, guys. 13 years ago. He started at Tennessee in 2007. Austin, I had no gray hair and I was in high school, guy. I was in high school. I'm almost 40. Come on, y'all. Come on. Come on. Come on. That's a long time ago. Let's end that. I don't. So I've come to the conclusion, like TikTok was doing that, and I finally told people on TikTok, from now on, people that want to mention things that happened 14 freaking years ago, I'm just gonna put my hand up and say, "Get out my face." I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. Don't talk to me. Let's just move on to another subject. But let's talk about football. Let's talk about recent FAU. When he was at FAU, Austin, could you tell me off the top of your head how many 11-win seasons FAU had in their whole program's history?
I would imagine you could count it on one hand if there was any.
One. Do you know how many Lane had in 3 years there?
How many?
2. All right. So let's move on to Ole Miss. Ole Miss doesn't have much of a history. They have that old history back in like before segregation. It was like before segregation was into the world. Like it was back in those days. They had a rich history. The stadium's named after the guy that was the head coach, and then they kind of fell off. And when I say fell off, it's like people forget this. Ole Miss was a lot like Vandy. When Alabama fans seen Ole Miss on the schedule, when Georgia fans see Ole Miss on the schedule, you wrote in Sharpie W. They were bad. Since 1971, Austin, Ole Miss has had 3 10-win seasons. Do you know how many Lane has in 6 years?
How many?
4. 4 10-plus win seasons. Okay? His last 3 years, 32-6 in the SEC. All I ever hear everybody tell me is the SEC big and bad, best conference in America. It's so tough to win there. So tough. Unless it's Lane for some reason. 32-6 in the SEC. Do you know who the top 3 teams in the SEC right now in the last 5 years wins?
Alabama, Georgia, Ole Miss.
Not Texas. Not Tennessee. Not Florida. I just don't know what to tell you guys. I don't know. All I can tell you is you hate Lane Kiffin, the person. You can't separate the good coach part. And I don't – he's going to kill it at LSU. He killed it at a lesser school at Ole Miss that was a laughing stock for many, many years. I don't know what to tell you guys. You just don't like him. And that's fine. Listen, I don't like Lincoln Riley. We're human. We have biases. That's cool. It's cool. I don't like Lincoln. He's not going to be a top 5 coach on my list. It's cool. Just say you don't like the guy because you have no facts to back up he's not a good coach. You have no facts. Zero facts to it.
Within the last 20 years, anyhow.
Yeah. Like you have 0 facts.
I do think
if any other coach did this, because we're going to get to this guy, everybody's hero, James Franklin. If he did that at Ole Miss, we'd be building him a statue. You're trying to build James Franklin a statue at Penn State, and he has 1 playoff. Austin, which one's a better job, Penn State or Ole Miss?
Penn State, by far.
But we're going to build that man a statue. But Lane Kiffin, you just say you don't like him. That's it. That's all it is. You just don't like him, and it's as simple as that. I'm not going to listen to anything else. So I told TikTok, we did like a 20-minute, I did like an hour live, and I told TikTok, they kept going with the Lane Kiffin stuff. I said, I'm done. So from this point forward, I ain't having Lane Kiffin conversation with people because they can't be honest with themselves. They don't like Lane. And I get it. He's a Nepo baby. He didn't earn this. He got the job because of his daddy, but he's a good coach. Facts back that up.
Well, now that your rant's over, I'll kind of talk the football side of things. You know, I think we could argue that the I think that we could argue
Golden has more than James Franklin.
Dang, Pops threw me off a little bit. Anyhow, I think you could argue the one thing that's held Lane Kiffin back, even the last couple of years at Ole Miss, is his defense. And now that he's at LSU and he was able to keep Blake Baker, I think I think that's going to be a game changer.
And Pops brings up, because I got this in TikTok lives either. It's Ole Miss. Ole Miss. Again, it's the guy that people don't like. Or like we'll forget. It's like we totally forget what Ole Miss was before Lane. They had 3 10-win seasons since 1971. And guys, me and Pop are cool. We love each other. So I'm gonna mess with him here. Since 1971, when Pops was like 30. I love you, Pops. I love Pops. Since 1971, Ole Miss has had 3 10-win seasons, and people are trying to tell me that man who won 10 wins and more 4 times in 6 years isn't a great coach. If anybody, Matt Campbell is praised. Matt Campbell is praised at Iowa State. What's the difference? I mean, you could say Iowa State's worse than Ole Miss. Obviously, but
I feel like you can make.
But what's the difference between Matt Campbell and everybody loves Matt Campbell, and all he's done is take his 8-4 Big 12 players to Penn State, and everybody thinks that hire is just amazing. Like the 8-4 Big 12 players are fixing to go 10-2 in the Big 10. Come on. This is gonna be a good clip.
You good?
Oh, I'm good. I look, me and Pops, we were getting at it in text message, and that's what's great about our show is like we'll go at it, and then we tell each other we love each other. I love Pops, and I respect Pops' opinion. I respect Jamal's opinion. I know he disagrees. I think you may disagree a little bit. Me and you've had it out on Lane Kiffin.
I don't know.
But this is what I'll say. This is what I'll say to other people not named Pops, not named Jamal, not named Austin, because y'all wouldn't do this. And I told people on this on TikTok. The great thing about making content, my videos will be here. You can come bash me when I'm wrong, because I'm gonna be wrong. Look, we got 16 coaches on here. I'm gonna miss quite a lot. And you'll come and you'll get at me, but you're gonna disappear when I'm right. That's how it always happens. Not Pops, not Jamal, not Austin, not my guys. But I'm talking about like the TikTok people that came at me. You're going to disappear. But guess what? I'm petty. I got screenshots, baby. I won't disappear. Because I'm going to come on this show when I'm wrong and I'm going to call myself an idiot like I've done 1,000 times. But when I'm right, those people that got at me on TikTok and Twitter, they're going to disappear. They're going to disappear. They're going to be gone. They're going to be hidden forever. So I'm not right. Anyway, Austin, let's go to 4 stars. Let's go to 4 stars. I don't think we're going to go line by line. I mean, I wrote notes on every coach, but what stands out to you on the 4 stars? Where do you want to go?
Well, we already talked enough about Pete Golding. I told you he was the one who stood out to me there. That just as a Bama fan, and maybe that's just because I don't like the guy because we had a shitty defense. Excuse the French when he was in Tuscaloosa. But I tell you one. I don't know, man. This whole list is just interesting. Like, I saw. Not to pick on Pops, but I think he said something, or maybe in his Twitter post, about this segment and giving stars and things like that. Let the guys coach the games first and then grade them.
I get what he was saying because we were texting.
I get what he's saying. I get what he's saying 100%. But at the same time, when you're recruiting a player out of high school, you don't know how they're going to perform in college, but they get a grade based on what on what they can do now and what they have done in high school at a lower level and what you think they will do. So
I also think, and I told Pops this, I think that's the coach side of him coming out. Yeah, because coaches, they can't stand the high school rating system. They don't like the stars. And I get it.
I was going to say, Nick Saban said, "Oh, we didn't pay attention to the stars."
Yeah.
Well, you
Nick Saban's also full of shit.
You sure got a lot of them 5 stars to not be paying attention. I didn't see you recruiting a bunch of 2 stars, Coach. But
yeah,
anyhow,
that's why we love. But that's why I love Coach Pops, because he gives us the coaching perspective. But I will,
Yeah,
I do want to call out some coaches, not Pops, but like you said with Nick Saban, he went on that rant, and I love Saban a lot, but he says a lot of BS that, quite frankly, is just lies. Like the
yeah.
man, it's just so convenient that, oh, I didn't pay attention to recruit rankings, but you had always the most 5 stars in the country, and you had the #1 classes. You're so full of
Yeah.
shit.
Right. But
Urban Meyer did that too, and one time they had an article. Sorry to cut you off, but Urban Meyer did that one time and said, "Oh yeah, I don't pay attention," and I have to go find it. But right behind the picture of him is his computer on 247.com. You lying assholes, y'all pay attention to it. Not Pops, but
yeah.
the coaches in college football, y'all pay attention to it. You know damn well you
Well,
do.
to be fair, Pops was at Arkansas, and they just happy to see some stars, um, over
Pops
there.
gonna
So,
get you for that.
I know I deserved
Pops
it
is
too.
fixing to comment.
But
He's fixing to actually show up here. You watch.
this whole 4-star list, though, to me, man, is just, I mean, with the exception, and I hate to be this way, Will Stein in Kentucky. I love the hire. I don't think you're going to take Kentucky to, a playoff contender. Maybe. You're good.
Yeah, my dog.
Maybe he does. I'm not saying it can't be done because
I
it's
will
being done.
admit, Will Stein, I may have been a little biased. See Lane Kiffin haters, how easy that is?
Yeah. No, again, but I also think a 4-star hire at Kentucky can have can have different expectations. But every other guy on that list, man, I just think has an opportunity to. Yeah, I agree with
Yeah,
Chris
no,
there,
I'm so
but
glad Snacks is that Snacks? I think that is Snacks. I hope he was it. Where were you at, Snacks, during my Lane Kiffin? I'm fighting everybody here, man. Where's Snacks at? Why is Snacks not on here defending my guy Lane Kiffin? I'm not even an LSU fan. I need Snacks to get in here. I agree with those Snacks there. I was informed by Kentucky fans. I didn't know this. I was just under the assumption Stein was going to call plays. And I put up a a post on our TikTok account, and it blew up. We had 6,000 views on it, and it was just a Kentucky video. But we had like 140 likes and like a bunch of a bunch sorry, Pops made a comment and I can't even put it on the screen. Because this is unfiltered. But he
say it to my face, pops.
yeah, no, he's talking to Snacks. He's
Oh,
talking to Snacks, yeah,
mm.
and I can't even put it
Yeah,
on the screen.
that'll. I've seen them talk before. That'll get us
Yeah,
canceled.
yeah, I can't do it. But Kentucky fans informed me he's not going to call the plays, and Sloan is going to call the plays. And I ain't going to lie, I almost bumped Stein down to 3-star, and I kind of wish I would have now because I don't know what he's thinking letting that man call plays.
Yeah. No, I mean that hire was it was questioned, and you defended it by saying he won't call plays, so it's not that big a deal.
I did.
So kind of a game changer there. But no, look, I love the hire at for Kentucky, but I also think that their ceiling is different than, I guess you could say, Kentucky, and argue UCLA, but uh,
Yeah.
the rest of those guys, I mean, they could get back into, hell, I'll say national championship contention, at least playoff contention.
Yeah. Yeah, a couple of others. Summerall, I didn't get too much pushback on that. I got a little bit. I got a little bit of pushback, but not too much, not a lot. I like Summerall. I think Summerall. The thing that impressed me the most with Summerall, and probably why I put him at 4-star instead, because I am very kind of. I know it don't look like it on the screen right now. I am kind of nervous putting so many G5s. Up there in the 4-star category because I do get nervous going from G5 up. But the one thing that impressed me the most about John Summerall is what he did at Tulane last year. I thought last year was the best job he's done at Tulane, considering like their Vegas over under was 8.5. They were not supposed to be good at all. and they lost a quarterback, their star quarterback, and went to Duke. Now went to Miami. They lost their star running back who disappeared at Oregon. Don't even know where he's at anymore. He's on a missing list. They lost like 20 to 30 kids in the portal. And I was like, this team's going to suck. I even said preseason that John Summerall may have missed his window to go get a big job. And then he proceeds to go out and run the American, win the American Conference, beat everybody's darling in North Texas, Eric Morris, another guy on our list. And I couldn't be more impressed. And then he goes out and what I think hires a big time offensive coordinator in Buster. I like the staff that he's put together, and yeah, I was just really I like him. I like the job he did there, and I think he's going to do phenomenal. What's the difference between Stein and Klein? That's a good question. The Klein one, I'm kind of regretting a little bit. A little bit.
Where are you regretting it? You think he's too low?
Maybe. I think I may have let the ending of the Aggie season cloud my judgment. Because I don't think he had a really good end of the season as an offensive play caller.
How long's he been the OC at A&M?
A couple of years, I think.
That's what I was thinking. I mean, I don't feel like they've had a great offense year in and year out.
Maybe I think Elko's only been there 2 years, right?
That's probably right.
Somebody can correct me in the wrong. He ain't been there long. Elko ain't been there long. I think he's been there since Elko got. Yeah. All right, let's get to the Golish. I got a little pushback on that. I like his experience in the SEC. I like his offense. I think he can have similar success like Heupel did at Tennessee. And if he can bring what Heupel did at Tennessee to Auburn, I think that's a massive win for Auburn and success, because that's what Auburn's been missing, is some sustainability, like just to be good every year instead of just having these ups and downs so much. As a Georgia and Alabama fan, we hope not, but I think he could bring that to Auburn, and I love the experience he has in the SEC. Another controversial one. This one was so controversial, I had to go write a whole ass page on this one. James Franklin. That's the one I got the most on TikTok. I got called so many mean names. I'm telling you, my wife says some mean things to me, but I've never been called that. What she said, what people said to me, dude. Yeah, James Franklin, man. Trying to find my notes.
I like where he's at.
Do you?
And I'm gonna say why right now, and I know you're about to throw the numbers at it because you probably have them, but sometimes when a coach and a school decide to separate, right?
Yeah. Stop reading the comments.
I'm sorry, pops. Anyhow, sometimes when a school and a coach decide to separate, not only is it good for the school, sometimes it's great for the coach to be able to go out and start over and build a new program. Well, I kind of thought that might be the case for James Franklin, but the problem is everything that got him fired at Penn State, he brought with him to Virginia Tech.
That's what I wrote. I wrote he was a really good coach. I think he's a really good coach. I want to make that very clear. I think he's a really good coach. I think Penn State's a premier job, right? I think it's a premier job. I think that's true also. He has one playoff win at a job like Penn State. He's versus top 10, he's 4-20. I mean, DeBoer's 5-1, Kirby Smart's 24-10. Sorry, my dog's going nuts. Kirby Smart's 24-10, Ryan Day's 14-8, Dabo's 19-5. Hell, Marcus Freeman's 5-5, and Dan Lannon's 4-4. I mean, I do get the argument. Some people said Virginia, like Pop said, Virginia Tech ain't Penn State. That's my point. So he's going to do it at Virginia Tech?
You're still going to be playing the same teams.
He's going to do that. He's going to And what's Virginia? So Virginia Tech's just happy with 9-3. I mean, we just saw Indiana win a championship. Expectations now, fair or not, whether you agree or not, they're now risen for teams like Virginia Tech. I don't think Virginia Tech's fans or boosters or watching Indiana do what they do are going to be happy with a 4-20 top 5 record. I don't think, Virginia Tech fans are going to be happy, never going to the playoffs. And then, like you said, all he did was Penn State fires him. He goes, okay, cool. He goes and he reflects and he goes, you know what, Smart? Let me bring half the staff that helped me get fired. That'll get the job done. Let's go get the OC that I had at Penn State at one time. That wasn't good. Let me go get my who else was it?
Quarterback coach, the OC, D-line coach.
OC, D-line coach. Let me get all the guys at Penn State that got my ass fired and rehire them at Virginia Tech.
And let me also grab a guy that Virginia Tech just fired.
Yeah. Pop says they were in the ACC. They would be in the playoffs 2 years from now. I'll take that bet. We need to do a show bet. I don't think he will be because I think the ACC most of the time is a one-bid league. He's going to get in over Miami every year? No.
I hope. And here's the thing. We're sitting here arguing this right now. I hope Pops is right.
I do too.
I love
James Franklin.
Well, I like James Franklin, but I love Virginia Tech. I think their atmosphere in that stadium is just like I want to go just to watch the team come out one time to Metallica. Like, I mean, I think it's a great college football town. So it'd be great. I just
like Snack says, he plays 2 tough games a year and doesn't win them. I mean, that's kind of my point. Like he couldn't win them at Penn State, and I get the ACC's down. I get it. I don't know, man. Like we're celebrating James Franklin, but guys want to tell me Lane Kiffin ain't a good coach. I don't know. That's kind of, I don't know. Shit. Any other 3-star? Oh, Matt Campbell was another controversial one. And I do feel Matt Campbell. I want to make this clear too. I love Matt Campbell. I think Matt Campbell is a great coach. I think Matt Campbell at Iowa State was perfect. I thought it was a match made in heaven. The only reason why I had him at 3-star, and the thing that I worry the most about Matt Campbell is what he did at Iowa State. Is he going to try to do that at Penn State? Is that going to translate to Penn State? Like, is he going to – because one of the things I've always read about Matt Campbell was he loved being at Iowa State because he didn't have to play the NIL game. He didn't have to go chase the 5-4-star kids. He could go get those 2-star diamonds in the roughs. He could go turn them into – good players. He can do all that stuff at Iowa State. He didn't have to play in that game that Kirby plays in, that Ryan Day plays in, that Sark plays in. He didn't have to get in those dirty waters. He didn't have to get nasty. And you're going to have to at Penn State, baby. That you're going to have to play dirty waters. You're going to have to play the NIL game. You're not going to win. Maybe Indiana changes things. I'm sorry. I'm not going to completely overreact to the Indiana thing and claim that's the new norm. It's 1 year. Let's not overreact. Let's wait and see. I'm still in the opinion you got to win the way, you got to win the way you used to with talent, a lot of talent. We'll see. Maybe a new trend starts and Matt Campbell becomes Kurt Sinetti and he can win with JMU guys and all that. But that's what I worry about with him. Now, maybe none of that's true. I've read that like they're in it for a 5-star offensive lineman. There's a 5-star wide receiver they're battling Georgia with right now that they're going to get. So maybe my opinion completely changes after this year's recruiting class and I see they're in the top 10. But I just want to see that. I want to see what his strategy is going to be at Penn State. And then also, he pretty much just took all his 8-4 Big 12 players to the Big 10. Like, I don't know. Does he think the white jerseys is going to make them and the Big 10 logo is going to make them better than 8-4 Big 12 players? I don't know. Because that's all he did. He just rated Iowa State and said, y'all come to Penn State with me. I guess
Yeah.
to go 8-4 in the Big Ten. I don't know.
Or Iowa State.
I mean, Jamal's right. The difference is though more kids will want to go to Happy Valley versus zip code 9999 in somewhere in Iowa. I mean, he is right there, but I mean, is that also kind of like the old school way of recruiting though? Like, isn't it now that all I hear everybody tells me it's all about the money, it's all about NIL. So I don't know. I do love Matt Campbell. I think years from now, because I already know how this is going to go. People are going to judge this list off of 1 year. I'm going to wait a couple of years to see what happens because I remember when Mike Norvell was the hottest thing in the world because he had one season where they went 13-0, and now his ass is fired after this year probably. So I'm going to
Well,
wait a couple of years before I, brag about the things I got right and call myself stupid on the things I got wrong. But I do think Matt Campbell is a possibility I get something wrong. Like I'll be like,
yeah.
yeah, I was an idiot.
I think it's going to be, and this is honestly going to be the case with a lot of these guys, is that ability to adapt, right? I know everybody wants to argue right now, and that's fine. That's what we do this for, right? I love hearing everybody else's wrong opinions, but anyhow, one thing I always think about with coaching, and you can say arguably, but I think everybody here would have Nick Saban at the top of their coaches list of all time, right? And I
Mhm.
think the reason Nick Saban is at the top of everybody's coaching list is everybody has had a great stint, and not everybody, but a lot of coaches have had great stints in college football. It's the longevity and how Nick Saban had success in college football, I think, that makes him the greatest, right? And the only reason he was successful for so long was he completely changed his entire mindset around coaching and around, he was always known as that 3 yards in a cloud of dust and play defense. And then he realized that the game was changing, so he goes out, hires Lane Kiffin, and now they score 100 points a game, and defense is a little less important. Anyhow, I say all that to say this: a lot of these coaches on here are gonna have to make some changes. Like you said, if Matt Campbell takes that same mindset that he had at Iowa State to Penn State and tries to run the program that way, he's not going to be successful.
I don't think
He's
so
going to
either.
be he's going to be sitting with Jimbo Fisher, who had a solid stint, but he refused to make changes. He's going to be sitting where Dabo Swinney's sitting right now. I know he's trying to call people out for tampering, but maybe he should reach out to a few more players.
Yeah.
You had a national championship, preseason pick football team that you went 6-6 with last year because I just think it's that inability to adapt, and I think some of these guys are going to have to change up their ways. James Franklin being one, and the guys he's hired doesn't look to me like he's going to change up anything.
Did you see that?
I saw it.
I love Jamal. Uh, Chad Morris 2.0. I love Pops and Snacks. That's why when me and Pops were going at it in our text messages, I knew I could be free and argue with him like I do with you. Cause you know me, I get heated with you and then
Hmm.
we laugh and say we love each other and go on about our day and talk about our kids and wife afterwards. I can be that with Pops because I've seen how Snacks and Pops talk to each other and they're like friends. So I knew from the moment I seen them first interact on Unfiltered or behind the scenes. I've seen them interact behind the scenes, and they go at it and they talk shit. And that's what I love about Pops and the guys in our group is we can talk shit. But I guess we do need to get to our guy Ryan Silverfield for Pops. Um, I thought about 3-star for this one. The only thing with Silverfield that concerned me the most is I thought Memphis is by far in their conference the most resourced program in their conference. They're like the biggest money, the biggest boosters, the biggest NIL fund. They are the top dog in that conference. And when I looked it up today, and Pops can correct me if I'm wrong, and he is right on the records. He's against Summerall 6-1, 3, or no, against goalless Morris and Summerall, he's 6-1. And that's a great point. Like those are facts. He never won I think they're in the AAC conference championship game, and that concerns me a lot that you couldn't do that when you were at a school that spends more than everybody in that conference. They have the best resources out of everybody in that conference, and I don't think there's a close second. Maybe South Florida, because I think they're in that conference or whatever. But yeah, that was my biggest concern for him. But I could see him being one I'm big wrong on. Pat Fitzgerald, I got a lot of hate on that one. And I think Pat did a lot of good at Northwestern. A lot of good. Like he was kind of like James Franklin at Vandy and Matt Campbell at Iowa State. It's Northwestern. My problem is right before he left, he was going on a downward trade. Like he was going downward, and it's like almost like people forgot that. His last 4 seasons, he was 14-31. His average offensive SP rating, 108.5. There's 130 teams in college football. He's 108 in offensive ranking the last 4 years combined. His last 2 years, he went 4-20. They just fired a coach that went 4-15. Like, I think Pat was great pre-COVID, pre-NIL, pre-portal. I thought he was great. I don't think he's that great in this era. And I thought it showed before the Northwestern time ended. I thought it showed that he was going on a downward trend. Like, I thought it was showing that this new era wasn't going to allow the way he coached and the way he did things to work. And that's why I just didn't like the hire from Michigan State.
Yeah. I still think it's weird the way that whole thing went down. He was announced way too quick as the new head coach, when it got announced. But
there was some foolery going on behind the scenes on that one.
yeah, I still think, but more to come with that. But no, I'm with you. And Michigan State is a program. I mean, they've historically been, competitive at best.
The Mark Years, you talk about Michigan State, right?
Right, yeah. I don't know. I don't think he's the guy to get him back. And then just my comments with Silverfield, I do know Pops was sharing with us. Sounds like Arkansas is getting strong in the NIL game, so that could be a game changer, But I do like where he's ranked from again, Pop says let him coach the games, and I agree with that. But for the sake of this show, I agree where he's at. Hell, look at how Arkansas's fans acted when they thought it was getting announced that they were hiring Alex Golish, and Ryan Silverfield gets announced. They talked about the guy like they just went and picked up somebody off the Pee Wee League or something and gave him a job, So
and I will say I didn't text this to Pops. I meant to text this to him. And I do get what he's saying about the whole this show idea and all that. But listen, if we didn't do shows like this, we just take off all summer, and then we'd get no subs. Another time, or we could do like all the other shows. Who now we've gotten so far. And I'm going to go on a rant, not at Pops, but at the media. This is the most in the last couple of years where the off season we spend no time talking ball, none. So we could just turn our show and talk court battles, tampering cases, NIL, portal. We could talk about all these lawsuits going on. We could talk about future realignment, future playoff expansion. We could talk all that stuff. That sounds absolutely fun. No, we talk ball, baby. Let's talk ball. Let's talk this stuff. Man, there's been so many seasons, like off seasons, man. We used to spend the whole off season getting ready for the 2026 year. Like we spend all off season. We would talk about the depth charts. We would talk about who's going to be starting quarterback. We're going to talk about what do you think this coach is going to do at this place and that place, and we don't do that no more. Everybody talks about court cases, realignment, NIL, tampering, and it's like no. I would much rather talk about a 5-star coach who we think is a 5-star coach than some court battle that's happened in Indiana where a judge was apparently a booster.
Yeah. No, I mean, that's where you and I, we've been blessed with where this show's taken us and this platform with the guys that are surrounded us from Jamal to Pop to Snacks to, I mean, you name them. We've been blessed, but when you and I said we wanted to try to do something, it was so we could come be a platform that didn't talk all that.
I don't
And
understand why
I'll
you
never
said that.
forget when we were looking for a name for this show. I don't even know how this came up, and it was a joke, I think, at
It
first,
was.
and then both of us were like, "Wait, is that a joke?" And because it fits what our mission is and what we want to do. So
Yeah, I have no and honestly, if we're being transparent, it hurts us not talking the court cases.
I'm
It hurts
fine with it.
not talking the NIL drama and the portal. It hurts us. I guarantee you, if I put out on Twitter this morning that we were talking the court case in Alabama with the Alabama basketball player, and we were talking the Mensa Duke drama, and we were talking about, hey, what would future realignment talk about? We'd have 100 people in this damn live stream. I guarantee you. It
Hmm.
would get us so many views. We could traffic in that. I would rather have 2 people watch us talk about 5-star ratings on coaches than talk about the stupidest crap in tampering, court cases, realignment, and playoff expansion. I mean, there's been news come out today on playoff expansion, and we didn't bring it up one time, and we're not going to because we're going to talk
No,
ball. That's all we're going to talk
because,
about. I have to have
because what
a show about which coach would win in a street fight over the other shows. We'll do that too instead.
yeah. No, I'm with you, man. Because and this will end the rant with this, but you and I've always said like as much drama and crazy stuff that's happening in college football right now. At the end of the day, Saturday is still Saturday, and the games still mean the same as they always have. They still feel the same as they always have, and that's all that matters.
I think the comments are messing up because all our guys were commenting for a while and now they're just disappearing.
Now they
So, Pop,
stopped.
if y'all have been commenting, I'm not getting them for some reason. They just pop up at one time. All right, let's end it on this. Like I said, we weren't gonna get to everybody, so if we missed your coach, I'm sorry.
Your coach sucks if we didn't talk about him.
Yeah, the 1-star, the Stanford coach. I ain't gonna lie, I don't know how to say his name. Tavati Pritchford, Pritford. I don't know.
Pritchard.
I wanted to talk about him because I just wrote down it's a buddy hire made by his good buddy Andrew Luck, and they'll be fired within 3 years. So that's the end of
Yeah.
it. That's the end of that.
I
All
mean,
right,
to be
I have a
honest,
good question to close out on though, and I
let's
gotta
do
give
it.
our guy Jamal props on it. We'll close the show on this. Who next year is the future 5-star coach on the market? Yeah, he sent me this text literally 2 minutes before the show, and I was like, "Oh, I wish you'd have sent it to me hours ago. I would have prepped on this because I have no idea. I'm thinking. Let's think this out. We got like 5 minutes. Let's think this out.
I'm
Who
not
is?
answering this question.
You're not answering this question. I don't know who you could possibly be thinking of. You have somebody in mind. There's a reason why you don't want to answer it. DeBoer. That's actually a good question because that's actually good. I still believe in DeBoer. I'm just starting to lean towards he's not a good fit at Alabama.
No, same.
Like I'm starting to lean towards him and Bama are just not a fit. And I know some people, there's a big argument in the college football world about is fit a real thing? Like, is it? And I don't know where I fall on it. Sometimes, some days I'm like,
I fall in it.
some days I do because then I see Brian Kelly at LSU and I was like, I wasn't worried about fit there. I was like, the dude's just a good coach and then he failed. And then it was like, okay, maybe he wasn't a good fit because the fake accent and all this Louisiana shit he was trying to do, being a Yankee. But then sometimes I see guys like Nick Saban, he was a Yankee his dang self, and then he come to the South and became one of the greatest coaches of all time in the South. And I've watched Urban Meyer; he's a Yankee, come from the North and one in the South. So I'm kind of torn on it. I think maybe it's a case by case thing. But yeah, I do kind of think he's not a fit there, and I do think he would be successful at, like, if he took the Michigan job, I think I would have put him at 5-star, to be honest with you.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, DeBoer's a good one. Let's think of another one. I wish the comment section was working because we would ask the comment section, but apparently it's not working. Let's see. I can't really think of anybody else other than DeBoer.
Would you consider Dabo?
No, I think he's toast. I just think he just can't adapt. He just not going to get called.
I agree. I was just.
Somebody asked that on TikTok, and I said, okay, Sean just texted me Elko.
Why would he leave?
That's a good question. Oh, here's a good one. He texted me. Hey, Pops, is the comment section, have y'all been commenting on YouTube? StreamYard is not showing the comments, and I'm starting to get really ticked off about that.
Well, this is 3 weeks in a row.
That's 3 weeks in a row. I thought maybe the first week it was, all right, whatever, it's a glitch. And then the second week, I was like, all right. Now we're in the third week where comments ain't working. Yeah, he's saying they're commenting. Yeah, Snacks is now texting me. I guess we're just not getting the comments. I guess what I'm gonna have to do on our live show is go to YouTube on on my iPad. I have my iPad sitting right here, which I usually use for Twitter while Lawson's talking, so I cannot pay attention to him. I usually scroll on Twitter and do some promoting other shows. So I guess what I'm gonna have to do is just go to our YouTube, which I'm gonna do now. Oh, Pops just texted me a good one too. Hold on, we're gonna get to all that. We may go just slightly over an hour. Let me turn my volume down so I don't hear us talk. Yeah, it looks like I'm gonna have to just watch our videos. Yeah, we've got all kind of comments. Look at that shit. Look at this. Dude, missed so many comments.
Don't we pay for StreamYard?
Yeah, we paid. It just came out again. It came out of my dang account. I forgot to tell y'all about that, but that's for the group chat. Yeah, okay. Let's go through these quick. I got a text from Pops, Lance Leipert at Kansas. That's a good one.
That's a great one.
Willie Fritz.
Ooh.
Willie Fritz. I thought of that one too since he mentioned Lance. Snacks in the comments. Yeah, they sent me screenshots. We're commenting. I'm not getting nothing. I'm gonna send them a picture of this. Sorry if you're watching this, but I gotta, because the last comment I have is "I love you, fools." That's it.
You see Snacks?
What did he put?
There might be some homerism in this, but he's got Charlie Weiss Jr. and Blake Baker after they win the Natty.
I think Charlie Weiss Jr. is a good one, and Blake Baker. Blake Baker should have took that Tulane job. I'm kind of glad he didn't know, because I want to see the Blake Baker Lane Kiffin dynamic. Sean brought up a good one. Steve Sarkisian. If Texas if Texas screws him over, his words, not mine. Yeah.
I mean, if he has a non-win season this year with the talent,
yeah,
it's got to be getting hot, right? Let's see.
It may be, but he would be a 5-star one. Let's go to the comment. Okay, now the comments just showed up.
Really?
I've got now 30 comments. Jesus.
What about Lincoln Riley?
Oh, that's a good one. Yeah, all the comments just showed up. We're gonna have to get Pops on this. Pops, figure out why StreamYard ain't working. All right, he's been gone so long. Pat could be the guy to F up this list, but we got to see. Okay, my former DC was on staff. Now I don't even remember what they're commenting about. All right. Yeah, okay. Jimbo Fisher? He's looking to go back on the market. You know my feelings on Jimbo. So for all the crap I'm giving other people, about Lane, about how I say you just don't like Lane the person. To show you I'm gonna keep it real. I can't stand Jimbo, so I'm gonna act like with Jimbo like everybody does with Lane. Mike Gundy.
What about Brian Kelly?
Oh, Snacks just slammed something. Oh, Jamal got a good one. Honestly, the Indiana coordinators.
Yeah.
Indiana coordinators. Yeah, I don't know why the comments ain't working. We're gonna end the show on that because Pops texted me asking why StreamYard ain't working. I don't know. Pops, let me know if it worked for you the other day. Well, he did an interview. By the way, before we leave, let's do some house cleaning. College sports crew. Guys, all the people that were commenting, those are guys that were part of our team or is a part of our team. Snacks, Jamal, Pops, Ian, he's out there. All these guys, man, they do great content. I got a lot of hate on TikTok, and like I was saying, I think I said this pre-show, or I said it during the show. If you don't like me and you think my opinions suck, the beautiful thing about College Sports Crew is we have all kind of shows, from former coaches that have coached, from former players that have played, and we got an awesome baseball show coming too. So I would highly recommend y'all go to College Sports Crew on YouTube. Go hit the sub button. We are at 94 subs. I did get us one sub from TikTok today, so I'm good for something. But we got 94 subs from and we're so close to 100, and I want to get there real quick. But yeah, Pops just did an interview with Meg. She's a softball legend at App State. She also does clinics and stuff like that. It goes all the way, and she has a big following on X. And she helped us blow up our X page. Got a couple of followers from Softball Fanatics, so that's cool. So yeah, go check out that interview. That's for the Veteran Sports Voice podcast. It's a good show. It comes out during the weeks. Jamal, he come out with a show last night, Athletes Forum podcast. It's great. It's amazing. I hate to bug him, but we got to get him to do our production like his does, man. It's amazing. It's like top of the line. But yeah,
I saw the screen. I clicked on it and saw the screen bouncing around and stuff, and I was like, "Whoa, how do you get all this?"
Yeah, he's tech savvy. He's the tech guy. He knows how to do these things. But yeah, and he's got videos out, man. He did some March Madness talk, which was great. I haven't paid much attention to college basketball. This is when I start to pay attention to college basketball, and I got smarter last night listening to our boy Jamal talk about some March Madness prep. He talked some UConn. He talked some Arizona. Talked a couple of teams. Then he did a way too early, not his way too early top 25, but he talked about some teams in the consensus way too early top 25. So he had some college basketball, college football. So yeah, man, y'all check us out, man. We do a lot of really cool stuff, man. We got a lot of really good people on this show.
Speaking of basketball, the girls tonight, right? Georgia's playing Alabama.
All right, well, that's all we got tonight, guys, and y'all have a good night. We'll see y'all next week.
Real time.